Hi everyone, welcome back again to another learning video. In this video, I will show you some important uh, networking command which you can use for troubleshooting your network in Linux. As Linux is mostly system driven, so you will be coming across networking issues and resolving network issue more often. So let's jump right into the video. I'll just open the terminal, Control Alt plus T. Now our terminal is open. Just a minute to deactivate this conda. Activate conda. Now we are in our terminal now. So the first thing when you are using the system is to know your IP address. What are the internal addresses that you already have? To view that, just type host name minus of I. It will show you this is the internal address of your system. This is your IP address. This is my IP address. This is the address of Docker container that I am currently running inside my Linux system, and this is my cube that is mini cube cluster IP address. It's a single node cluster, so we have this IP address for it. Now you might have come across local hosts. Local is basically is a server for your system, unlike your IP address, because through localhost you will be able to access applications or install application and connect to their servers like SQL or other thing. Got it? Now let's come across another important command, that is ping, which we come more often. What is the importance of it? It is basically uh, does what is that? It connects your nodes, basically the nodes, the packets that is sent to a particular server. It just build out and test whether the connection is there or not. It just verify the connection. So if I type ping and just have to give it a small name, sorry, small number for the packets, so that we will be able to have a limited number of packets instead of a whole lot of packets if we are going to ping some network addresses. So let's just type ping C. I'll just type 4 packets. um, let's type ping google.com, which is the basic ping thing we do. You see, it will generate 4 network packets which is able to connect to the google.com server, that we can connect to that server. Got it? Here are the information. Is there any packet lost? No, we don't lose any packet during the transfer. So it is all about ping. There is one important command, just like in Windows we have to view our IP address and all the configuration of uh, which would be displayed our interface in our interface. It is using one command, that is ifconfig. So what basically does that, displays your IP address, MAC address, Ethernets, all sort of information. Type here, you'll see this is your local host, this is your IP address, this is a Docker for the Docker container I'm running. Basically, it has that internal IP address for that container, and it is for Minikube that I'm currently running the internal IP address. So here you will see all the networks inspection interface. Basically, you will find all the packets and also find the subnet mask for each connection. It is Docker, you can see here. So it basically displays the route and the network interface. It is very important for you to check your subnet mask as well as your application's internal IP address, and see whether they are running smoothly by viewing the packets. There are also more other commands that we will go on now. So this is all about ifconfig. Got it? Then coming to the next one, if you type IP address, it's just like the ifconfig will display all the networks that you currently have. Got it? So this is all your this is the for Docker, this is for your, that is minikube that I'm running, and this is my IP. Got it? There is one important command also which is very helpful to troubleshoot your network, because it detects any delays in your receiving packets, or any delay in the pathway for your target. For example, if you are trying to reach to google.com, is there any delay in sending those packet, or delay in reaching to that server? So we use tracer route. Let's type tracer route. Tracer route, ROUT. Okay, we do not have tracer route installed, so we'll just copy this and install it in our system. Copy it and just paste it. Asks for the password. Now it is installing tracer route in our system. So it is installed. Now suppose I want to run a command. How do I know? Just do one important. There are two important commands basically in Linux which help you to understand some important commands. What are their uses? That is, I will show you. One is help, and another one is man. If I type help, it will display what are the things I can do here. You view here. This is a tracer route command, and these are all the sub commands that we can use along with the tracer route to view some important thing. Now, for now, if you type this thing, you will see what are the things they are doing, what we can achieve from these commands. So for now, I'll just write tracer route google.com. So as you can see, it displays what? It basically displays the host name, which is google.com. Then it displays the size of the packets. Got it? And the IP address also, which we have for the server. So you can know, if you are just going through this, you'll see will continuously hop for 30 times, because it is constantly trying to connect to the server and sending out the packets, which is a max 60 byte here. So here you can troubleshoot to see, is there any delay in the response that we are getting. So we see the time frame also and check. It's it's not just particularly google.com. If any server you are trying to build on or have some public IP to them, you can use Tracer to verify their any delays or any issues in their connections. Suppose I want to see any networking delays. Network delays do we have? Type tracer route and it's of in google.com. It will display the same thing, and it will go 30 times, and I'll say if we have any delay. See, here we are receiving the packets as it is, and it is still going on, and we find some delays, slight delays, when these are not in the same configuration. So it is loading onto that thing. So it basically displays any network delays. So this one basically represents any potential issues that our request is going in the right way, or it is able to connect to our host. So they basically would include any packets which are lost. Now in this transfer of request, we do not lose any packet. There might be a delay, but we have not lost any packet. So it does that. Alright. Now Coming to another command, it is one of the most important command to see statistics of a network. Basically, if you type netstat, it is the command name is netstat, and help. Let's just do man. I think the man command would be this one. No, it is man netstat. It will display all the information about it. What does it do? Print network connections, routing tables, interface statistics, connections, and multicast memberships. All these things, and what you can do with the symbols. It is also written there. Basically, the network subsystem is controlled by the first argument as follows. You can find it here, and they are very important and helpful as a documentation for your uh, commands. Now, let me type netstart. What does it show? It basically shows the network statistics about different interfaces and open sockets that we currently have. Now, suppose I want to view the ports that are listening to traffic. So what you can do? Netstat minus of A. These are connected ports that are currently listening to the traffics and are sending packets and receiving packets. So if you go up and up and up, you'll see it's a lot more the open network connections out there. Got it. Now, if we want to see any ports which is actively listening to a particular post or using both TCP and UDP protocols, then there is the same way we can do. You just have to type L. It is listening to that thing, particular ports. The application is listening to particular ports. Using this thing, you can see whether a particular application of your, whether you have built application or trying to connect to any server remotely, whether it is listening to the particular port or not. We can do using that. It basically shows the node to which our request is diverted or going to our request is going on. Got it. Now, earlier we are using netstart and it is most predominantly used also nowadays. There is another command which has replaced it, uh, that is ss command. If you type ss, it will do the same thing. Here it represent packets of data listening to the particular host or ports to these nodes. Got it. The same as this thing, but it's much faster as compared to netstat. Now, let's go to another command. There is one command which help us to basically give information about a DNS server, and we can find any issues with the DNS server. But we can generate our DNS server, and if we want to potentially see any issues are there and resolve them, we can use this thing. It is called dig. The command name is dig. Suppose I want to dig google.com. What does it do? It will fetch all the informations regarding the DNS server, name server. Basically, it will be used for DNS mapping. You will see this is the web server, and if you want to map a particular uh, DNS to it or view the host address to them of them, you can use this command. So it basically has an hierarchy of showing all the DNS configuration file. I'll not go deep into those things. This we do not need now. If you are practicing more on the networking part of the Linux system, then you need to connect and study the documentation of each command. You can go. For example, if I type man dig, It is DNS lookup utility. We can see what does it do. It is a flexible tool for integrating DNS name servers. Performs DNS lookup and displays the answers that are written from the name server that were queried. Most DNS administrators use dig to troubleshoot DNS program because of flexibility, ease of use, and so you can find the documentations out here. Remember, in this video, I will not show you a lot of commands, but most important command that you will be using mostly. It's like reading a book, but contemplating what are the things that you need to read instead of reading the whole book. So now there is one more important command, that is nslookup. It is the same. It does the same nearly as the dig command to look up for any queries in your DNS server or a particular server. If you type nslookup and google.com, it will basically query this information about the server. The server is this one, its address is particularly this thing, name is this one, this is the MAC address. So it will basically query this result for the system administrator. Got it? There is one more important server also, that is route. Sorry, command, that is route. What does it do? It basically displays and manipulates the routing table. Now, if we go into its documentation, just like the other one, a route, what does it do? So, it manipulates the kernel's IP routing table, primarily used to set up static routes to specific host or network via an interface has been configured the IF config. We need to configure this route. That route would be a particular address, and based on that address, if you want to connect or set up any static routes or static address to a specified host doesn't mean that doesn't mean just this your local machine. It can be any host you are trying to connect to them. You can route those traffic out there through the network interface after setting up your if config file. So if you type route, it will show you your interface and their destinations. This is the default gateway which is listening to all hosts. It can be accessed to all hosts, and we have this thing basically forward the request to a default gateway. Got it? Basically, it says that if the destination address is within the networking range, basically this one or this one, this all, then it will be diverted, have a gateway of like this. Here, instead of 4 zeros, we can use a star to assign that same thing, which is default gateway for all hosts. Got it? So suppose uh, I have Docker installed in it. Now how would I allow the host to connect to my Docker instance, Docker container? So I will allow it to be open to have a default gateway which is listening to all ports, all hosts basically here. So basically you would divert some traffic out there or connect your hosts to default gateway using this route table, basically route command. Got it? Now there is one important command also which you might have come across when using Linux, that is host name. Here you can see it is a username, this is your host name. So you are running host Ubuntu. Basically you are running Linux. Since I'm running it on a virtual machine, a virtual box, so my host is Ubuntu. Since I set up my virtual box to run Ubuntu. Got it? Now you can change your host to different name. That's different. If you just type sudo host name, sudo host name, and give the name or something, then what it will ask? It will ask for the password. Then you verify the password. Then after reboot, you will see your host name change to your default name that you gave. Got it? So I guess this is all about the host name. Now suppose I'm writing, who am I? This is the user, me. Got it? Suppose one more command is there, I guess, who is not found. Let me just install this thing. Just a minute. Yeah, it's just installed. Who is? Let's just view. What does it do? Just a minute, man. Who is a client for the who is directory service. Searches for an object in the database. This version of the who is client try to guess the right server to ask for the specified object. So basically, it will help you to connect to the host and try to fetch information from the host. Just a minute, I will just show you. Suppose I'm writing who is google.com. I'll just wait. What does it do? What does it give? Basically, it will fetch all the information from the Google servers about uh, its website, information about uh, like owners or numbers or domain name or creation date. All sort of information will be viewed, can be viewed through this command, who is. It is very important command. So you can view this contents in the command line interface using the who is command. Got it? Lastly, I will show you two important commands simultaneously. That is curl. What does it do? It is basically this command will help you fetch information through the link of a particular website. Like for instance, if you want to fetch information about uh, a particular website that you are viewing, so you just type curl minus of o and the website name. Got it? So here you just type the website name and that's it. It will display information about or fetch the information about the website and download any necessary files from the website. You can use call. There is one more important command simultaneously, that is wget. I say wget, it's wget, which is also does the same thing, which fetches information directly without using any sub commands. So this particular video is about making you aware some of the important networking commands that you will be using mostly. So try to get hands on those commands. Try to Google them, see their documentations, learn each word by word, line by line. What does the command do? How we will set up a network interface? How we'll be able to send packets? How we will be able to connect to a server? How we'll be able to query a server? So you can do with all of this command. So try to remember this command and try and practice. I hope you like this video. Um, and if you have any doubts regarding those things, kindly mention down in the comments below. I will answer it. I'll try and answer them. And thanks for watching. Happy learning.